because there's so many tits in it, like I'm like, where's the penis? And then we get a penis. Like, okay.
Hello and welcome to Incomplete Geeks, a gay geek podcast where the term bend the knee has a very different meaning. I'm Nick, this is John. We are back for a second part of Game of Thrones.
In case you were wondering, viewer, we are slightly different today because Miss Baker has not has the Rona, but you may have been in contact with it, so you may, and we're going to keep it safe.
So we're doing a virtual one, and I don't like it, but we'll see if the banter works virtually.
Yeah,
it's weird.
I mean, just in case you didn't know that we were actually in the same room before, but now, in case you were like, why does this audio sound different, strangely? But now you know why. We're still going to give you the same amount of sass, the same amount of shade, and audio hair tosses that we always do.
And if we talk over each other, we can cut one of the others out. So maybe this will be better. But
maybe it'll be better. Stop coughing. Although I can't actually, I'm not going to touch this microphone anymore because I'm too nervous about bumping the cords on it.
Please don't. I'm not starting again.
So how's your week been, Nick? Tell me about what's going on.
That. I don't want to talk about my personal life.
I mean, I don't want to hear about it, so that's fine.
Thank God. I don't really have one, so it's best.
But there is some news that came out, isn't there?
There's a couple of newses. So we went an hour and a half last week. Let's not do that again. So let's dive straight into our Geekery of the Weekery.
Previously on X-Men.
Geekery of the Weekery.
You don't have to just love your little. You just have to explain.
Sound effects.
Man sound effects. Chop, 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 chop.
Poof. Let's do the first one first. That's the dumbest thing I've ever said. But
this is all you. I'm listening to you. I know a lot less about it than you do. So you tell me what's new this week in the world of geekdom.
So in unrelated to the podcast news, one thing, the Geekery of the Weekery that came out is announcements of new animated films from Avatar Studios. Do you watch Avatar: The Last Airbender? Have you watched that?
Yes, I've seen it all. And I think that was... Oh, you know what? To be fair, Avatar: The Last Airbender was genuinely a COVID show that I watched. I've heard of it briefly outside, before people might... beforehand, geeky friends talking about it. And I was like, it's a cartoon for kids. In the pandemic, when I had the time, I watched it. Every single episode straight through.
It's the greatest TV show that's ever been made, and I'm looking forward to doing a full episode about it. But in the wake of the whole Netflix film thing, they were on board to do the Netflix show, the creators, and then they bowed out. So then, luckily, Nickelodeon said, "You know what? Just have your own studios and do whatever you want." So Avatar Studios was announced last year or the year before, but they said they have lots of ideas. They haven't got anything planned yet, but they have announced official release dates for the first 3 films, the first of which will be in 2024. I'm going to double check this because I have the power to do so.
Sitting at computers. Hang on a second. So wait a second. So you said Avatar Studios? They have their own studios now? Or the studios that make Avatar TV show?
There was never an Avatar Studios before, but I think since so many people have had their hand in developing live action or cinema release versions of this show, and they fuck it up every time, Nickelodeon / Paramount were like, here you go, launch Avatar Studios. So all the creators are going to be creating new animated content from the world of Avatar.
Cool. Yeah, so, okay. So what about these films? Okay, so we know that there's... let's explain it to people in case they have no idea what's going on in the world of Avatar, speaking of our listeners.
I'm not going to tell them... No. I'm not going to tell them about Avatar. We'll do that in another episode. So the 3 films that are going to...
There's been 2 shows, and we're not talking about the live-action film at all.
No, that doesn't exist. So the 3 films that are announced is an Avatar Kyoshi film, which is the one that we're almost excited for, a Zuko film, and then a Korra film. each kind of 2 years apart, starting in 2024 with Avatar Kyoshi, which is weird that they would do Kyoshi first, because that's obviously the one that we're most excited for. Because
Okay.
it's not a continuation; it's going to be a brand new story because obviously it's set in the past. Whereas Zuko's just going to be more of Zuko's story, and Korra's going to
Yeah.
be more of Korra's story. Excited for both of them. I think they're both going to get a theatrical release, but Kyoshi is the one I'm way more excited about, especially having read
Hey.
the books as well.
Ooh, there's books even.
Oh
Um,
yeah,
that tickles my nerd brain. Wait, which one is Kyoshi again? Remind me.
Kyoshi is the earthbending avatar that was the one before Roku.
The one
So,
before.
so Kyoshi, Roku, Aang, Korra.
Okay. Okay. Yep. Okay, fine. I'm with you. Roughly, I get it. She does make an appearance, like in the show. I do remember
Yeah,
them
yeah.
looking.
She comes back. She's in season 1 where he's on trial for her past life crimes, and then she's in the finale
Um,
giving her wisdom, voiced by Jennifer Hale, who's an amazing voice
yep.
actress, and I love her.
She's in
Um,
everything, but
Everything.
she will always be Lyris Titanborn to me.
Oh, I remember her
Just
from the Johnny Quest remake as Jessie. She was very
remember that
good.
one.
Yes,
Yeah,
I don't
loads.
think there's any other details about it. Probably because they've launched Paramount Plus.
Hmm.
So I'm assuming this is owned by them, so it'll be part of their making their more exclusive IPs. So it'll
As
probably be
in,
on there.
no longer Netflix, or in addition to
Probably
Netflix.
they took Star Trek off of Paramount Plus, so sorry, off of Netflix for Paramount Plus. So they're likely to do the same for
Okay, let's
this.
keep in mind though. This is. I'm sure that I'm still watching like Star Trek on Netflix.
But you're not watching Discovery.
No.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm not watching Discovery full stop at the moment. I'm still catching up. I'm still finishing Voyager. Okay, I'm like I'm like 2.5 seasons away. I'll get
We'll
there.
come back to that one then.
Oh, we sure will. Well, that's cool. I'm excited. I'll watch it, and you have to let me know when there's more
Oh,
news.
I will be inconsolably excited. I think they're getting theatrical releases as well as streaming service releases. I'm not
Hmm.
100% sure.
Okay,
Um,
then I
I
got a
would be
question.
super excited to go to the cinema to watch Kyoshi kick ass. It's gonna be
Okay,
amazing.
so this is going to touch on something I thought about since we talked about Harry Potter. If these films come out, how are they going to appeal to the general audience who may not be widely sort of in on the world of Avatar? So, like the prequel films of Harry Potter are like made for fans of Harry Potter, and they don't really draw in other people because they don't care, and I'm including myself. So,
Well,
how
that's a
will
good
draw
point
in?
because Kyoshi will be standalone, unlike Zuko and Korra, which will be continuations of the story. I imagine Kyoshi's will be either an adaptation of the book, which is her starting her Avatar journey, or a story in it. But it could be just a new starting point. I can't imagine it will be. It'll be very much for the appeal of already fans.
Okay,
But
so maybe it's one of those things where like there's probably Easter eggs for people who are big fans, but it's not going to deter. Well, we'll see.
I think
We'll see.
it'll just be set in the world, and it'll obviously be really well written and well thought out. So it'll
Mhm.
just be good. And if
Okay.
you know the world already, Aces, you'll be psyched for it. And if you don't, try it out. It's less complicated. There's no 100-Year War or anything like that. It's the old school world where the nations were divided. So that's an interesting point. I don't know if it will be super duper popular or just be seen as a kids' film.
Well, I think
Because
that a
they're
lot of
trying to
it has
make
to do
it.
with marketing as well. We're gonna have to see how they market it, I suppose.
I suppose kids' films make more money, so they'll probably keep it quite.
Hmm, true, true. We shall see. We'll look forward to
Yeah.
2024. What else is
It's
going on?
so far, it's so far away. So okay, yay, Avatar! I'm so excited. The other news, which is a little bit more relevant, is the announcement. Again, I don't have huge amounts of details. Uh,
Well,
of yet another new air quotes Game of Thrones show, a Jon Snow sequel, is
yeah.
officially in development with HBO, and I don't know how
Well,
I feel about that.
I don't. I'm going to reserve judgment as well because obviously I'm not the biggest fan of Kit Harington. He was probably my least favorite actor of all the main actors,
He is
but
super sexy, but
he's cute.
super boring. Like his
He's
character
exactly what I
is
want.
dull.
Yeah, he played Jon Snow, and the thing is, like Jon Snow in the books is so exciting, and I can't explain. Maybe that's why I didn't like
Oh, is he
the
different in the books?
I mean, he's different in that he's more. He obviously, because it's written as a book, you see a lot of chapters from his perspective, and you see his internal turmoil, like why he makes the decisions, whatever. And I know that this is Kit Harington's first like major meaty role, and especially in the first season. And I know that he does, I suppose he does have more facial expressions as the series goes on, but he's
Oh, I
just
mean,
so flat. He's so flat in the first like 2, 3 seasons. Like, oh, your dad just died.
nah,
Oh, you're going to the wall.
nah,
Oh, you're going to the yeah. I'm doing facial expressions that are just,
nah. Okay.
and I just was so bored of him. So anyway, I can't get excited about the character. I'm going to have to get excited about the world. And I
Yeah.
know I looked into it, and it's going to be like a sequel. Like it's going to be
Mm.
after the events of Game of Thrones. But the thing is, we don't know anything about it. It's all speculation. Like Kit Harington and HBO haven't even, as far as I know, haven't even like announced
No.
it. It was like leaked or reported by some third party.
It's
But
in development, which means they're just like trying to think what could they do with it before they
mm,
even start
mm,
writing a script for it. Like it doesn't interest me. I'm much more interested in House of Dragon. House of the
mhm.
Dragon
Like
debuts August
wait,
21st because I feel that's in the world, but different. This just feels like a drag on a
yeah,
really miserable, boring part of the show that we didn't like, which was the finale. And it's like, oh, let's
yeah,
continue on with this. Like, I don't want to. I don't want to continue on with where you guys left off. I want
yeah.
to either go
Unless I know
backwards
what
or fly forwards,
unless I know what Arya finds west of Westeros, then I'm interested. That should be a show.
which is like America, right? In the
Basically, yeah. They find a whole bunch of
just
Native Americans and then conquer their land.
like that'd be cool. Although I'm not a super big fan of Arya, but yeah,
Well,
yeah. Will
I'd rather
Sophie
watch
Turner
that.
be in it? Any of the people who survived be in it? So, I mean,
It'll probably be north of the wall or at the wall, which were also my least favorite parts of the show because he's been banished there for the rest of his life. And I don't know. My ears are perked. Like the dog is like, what's this? Okay, I mean, I'm listening, but I'm not chasing after it, to use the dog reference.
doesn't it also say there's like 4 or 5 other shows? 10,000 Ships,
4 or 5
Voyages of Seek,
people who might watch
Dunk
the show.
and Egg, which sounds bollocks, and then there's a load of animated prequel stuff. Although that could be cool because then that means they can do really big stuff because they don't have to film
Yeah.
it; they just animate
Why
it.
wouldn't they? If it was canon, why wouldn't they? You know what they can do? Because a lot of what a lot of what he didn't talk about last week was how, as the show went on, there was less and less magic. And
Mm.
in the beginning, that's what drew you in. You're like, oh my god, this weird thing.
Mm.
This like the shadow creature comes out of
Mhm.
Melisandre's vagina and,
Mhm.
and
It
slays
sure
Renly. You're like,
does.
what? That was the first what the fuck moment for me because
Yep.
I didn't cheat and look ahead about
Well, the first but
get cut off. But
the first what the fuck moment was the opening scene because it was a White Walker in the stuff in
yeah,
the very
but I
first
mean, like
scene, and
the beginning is like when you're setting the tone. Like you will accept anything if it's in the first scene. And the same goes with like a movie or a play or a book even. Like you set the tone with the opening scene. So you're like, ooh, this is a world with mystical kind of creatures. Okay, fine, we go for it. And then as the magic is like sparingly dropped in, when something big happens, like the shadow demon, which never comes up again, or I can't think of anything else. Like even like the dragons hatching, like that's crazy. Like oh my gosh, that's something new. But then there was none of it as the show goes on. And
yeah.
so if they were to do animated series, I think that would be a really good opportunity to do whatever the fuck they wanted because it's animated.
Having said that, I think that's the reason why Game of Thrones worked and was the world's biggest TV show, whereas shows like The Witcher or Wheel of Time come
Mhm.
across cheesy and fantasy and shit a lot of the time because
There's so
you
much, man.
accept that it is a magical world for Game of Thrones, but you don't see it. Like, okay, yeah,
Yeah.
the dragons will show up, but the rest of the time is just not
Yeah.
that floofy kind of if one touches the Milithran stone of your shut up. No, it's like here's some whores, here's some beer, fuck you, you're gonna die. It's
You weren't a
less
fan of the Sword of Shannara then on MTV, were you?
what the fuck is what? Shut
The
up.
Sword of Shannara, the Shannara Chronicles, whatever it was called. I didn't know. I watched it in the background once because that's based on a book as well. They were trying to
Shut
they
up.
were trying to sort of capitalize on the whole fantasy genre. And that was a very popular book series in like when
Oh,
I was younger.
sure. Even Lord of the Rings is a bit much like that, whereas Game of Thrones felt very human.
Yeah.
With like, oh
Well,
yeah,
that's a
there's
good
some
point.
demons. Oh, I like that. Anyway,
Like the whole point, the whole pull of Game of Thrones was the alliances, the backstabbings, the shock that humans do to each other. But I also lament the fact that there were fewer and fewer crazy shits happening as time goes on. Like the craziest shit in the later season was like, I don't know, the faceless people, but that was sort of used sparingly as well.
yeah, I don't
And
think
then
they did
I
that
think
very well. Don't.
like even Melisandre with her red witch, red wet or red priestess, like there was no real pull of her.
She brought John back from the dead.
Yeah, but I want to see more smoke demons come out of her vagina. That's
Yeah, me
what's
too.
like.
I do. And she was super old when she took off the necklace, wasn't she? So her
Okay,
magic
fine,
boobs.
that was a thing. But also,
So she did a
yeah,
lot.
okay, that's the closest what the fuck moment we got, and it didn't really go anywhere. There was
So yes, Jon
okay.
Snow. They're in
Anyway,
talks. They didn't comment. It's super duper early stages, and I'm not particularly excited about it. I'd rather just focus and see if this show is any good. If House of the Dragons turns out to be good and they do it well, and they're not too caught up on trying to recapture the glory days or whatever, and it'll be just good. And then we can get back into the Game of Thrones world and then do another spin off. Don't get ahead of yourselves. That's what they did last time. They organized like 5 spin offs and then the finale came out. We're like, we don't want any of them because that was shit.
I know.
Let's
I know.
not get carried away. This show may suck. Let's wait for it to see what happens.
Maybe it should be like a miniseries.
Ooh, maybe. Yeah.
Who is gay north of the wall?
Is this your segue into our Game of Thrones vibe?
Yeah,
Because otherwise we'll just talk about Game of Thrones
we
again.
will. We will. I don't want to
Which
do
we
the
did
same thing.
last.
I don't mind, but I want to do some gay.
So the purpose of this episode is talk about how gay is Game of Thrones and
Yeah,
the gayness of Game of Thrones. Gay of Thrones.
but we can't say gay of Thrones because that's
We
been done.
We can, but he did it so well.
He did it so well.
Um,
Good old Johnny V. And that's like before all of his. That was a sort of like catapult into stardom. Where should we start?
Why do gays love Game of Thrones?
Good.
Do the gays love Game of Thrones? I feel like they do.
Yeah, of course they do. But the thing is, like, we can be as gay geeks. You and I can be like, we like it for the geekery and like the world building and the fantasy or whatever. But we also like it because of the gayness, because there is like gays done well.
There are definitely gay characters done well, absolutely, because they're gay, but they're different types of gay and they're complicated and gay and that sort of stuff.
And they're more than just gay.
Yeah, that's true. Like the gayness is, apart from what's his face, Loris, he's basically just gay. There's not really anything.
Yeah, that was much trim.
Yes, so we'll get into the gay characters. That's definitely one thing. Absolutely, it's not in any of the others. But it's, I mean, a lot of sex. We do have a lot of sex in it, and penis sex. Like we see Theon's dick pretty early on, and
Was that a thing? Oh my gosh, I kind of forgot about that. We see Theon's dick.
like pretty early on. I mean, we don't see a lot of dick the way we see a lot of boob,
We
but
see
I
a
think
lot
that's
of boobs.
a
Yeah.
lot of boob. But that's season 1. They show us a penis and that sort of stuff, and it's like
Yeah.
messy sex and good. We're here for that. Hot guys. They made sure to have hot guys and different types of hot guy, not just this is Jamie Lannister. That's your lot. Lots of different ones to choose from. What kind you want? And as we did our Smash or Pass last time, we can't choose. So lots of nudity, and just the drama of it all. Because even like the female characters, like Cersei, is
a strong female character.
The diva-ist of characters. Khaleesi is another, like the female characters are really inspiring as well as the gays. So I feel like, what about the straight guy characters? Does anyone like them? Like,
Which one?
but the male characters. Does anyone like? Do you like those rather than lusting over them? Do you like those
Um,
characters? I don't want to generalize, but
I don't know.
I
Like I kind of like the thing is like because we know this that female characters who are very strong are much more interesting to watch.
we know this. The straight men haven't figured this out yet.
Yeah. But like we see like another straight man trying to be the king of the world. We're like, oh, yawn. Okay, another one. But a woman wanted to be king of the world. We're like, oh, this is interesting. We want to know what this.
Ooh, yeah.
What kind of things is she going to come up against?
And because it's set in that time, fictional time period, is not obviously not real. When I was going to say in that fictional time where straight white men were the most powerful, like, wait, what?
Wait,
That
hang on a second. Wait,
that is
we're still in that time.
still the case. In a time where straight white men had all the power, not just most of it,
Mhm.
where women and gays and people of color were secondary to
Yeah.
that. Um, what was my point? Yeah, so we're kind of on the women's side. We're the underdogs, and that's probably why we
Yeah.
relate to them more. It's like, oh, good, you guys are winning. The guys in high school, the guys who had it easy, all the bullies, that sort of stuff. Whereas we're kind of like the downtrodden ones. We're
Yeah.
like the women who have no rights, the people of color who
We
are not particularly well represented in the show,
no
and the
in
gays
the
again
no.
who have no rights to exist. Which
It's, it's kind of like the women's and gays. Unless, well, I mean, are you talking about the real world or in the fantasy world? Because I
I
think
know
it's
that's what I'm struggling with. It's like this.
I'm,
I'm talking about the fantasy world. I
yeah.
fully understand that is the case in the real world too, but
Hmm.
let's talk like it's just kind of putting it in that world
Oh,
means we're all on the same side. It's why I personally would root more for the female characters because it's more interesting
yeah,
and
and also
they're familiar.
being in power, being in positions of power, as a woman is slightly more palatable than being a homosexual in a position of power because there's a lot less visibility that you can have as a homosexual. So if we look at like the real history, we can look at say like Richard the Lionheart, who was we don't know, we can say probably was gay, or we can say that like Alexander the Great had a
Super
a
gay.
lover.
Mm.
But for whatever reason, probably because it wasn't sort of as highlighted as it would be nowadays, like we don't think of them as like homosexual rulers. We just think of them as like men.
Yeah,
Whereas the
that's true.
women that are big, like Queen Victoria or
Hmm.
Cleopatra, whoever,
Hmm.
we know that they're women, so
Yeah,
that's avoidable. So kind of like if you want to draw parallels to this series, book slash
yeah, but the
TV
difference,
show,
yeah, but
yeah,
do the gays and the girls don't win in the show
yeah, but at least
at
people are rooting for one of
all.
the women.
Yeah, that's true. And they're probably rooting for the gays as well. I think the gays were all quite well received, the
So
gay
let's talk about
characters.
how many there were that
Okay,
we know of.
so that's why some of the reasons why the gays like Game of Thrones. It's a lot more meaty and
Yeah,
drama filled than something like Harry Potter, something like Lord of the
we,
Rings, which feels very
yeah,
white and cleanly fantasy brushed. This is
well, yeah.
just
I mean, Lord of the Rings is very
this
clear
is
with like
just
evil, and this is not.
yeah, this is just a big fucking drama mess, which is like perfect for gays. It's like a big
So
sweaty drunken mess, which is like all of us
yeah,
in our 20s.
which is like a good Saturday night.
Not for a
So
while.
talking about the nudity shots as well, like there are some like
Yes,
I
nudity.
appreciate a nice penis once in a while, but like it's not necessary for the show.
Oh,
That said, because there's so much so many tits in it, like
so
I'm
many
like,
tits.
where's the penis? And then we get a penis. Like, okay,
So much
I
boob.
completely yeah.
So much
I'm
boob.
pretty sure
Although
that Theon
I don't know
was a
if
fake.
penis is an equivalent to boob, really, is it?
No, no, it's not. But like
It's more like
you
bush.
could see, you can see like you know man tits, and it's like not the same. I don't know. I don't know how straights work. Do they like the like booby tits? I don't know.
Boob tits.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, they definitely like the booby tits. And it's more of a treat than seeing man tits,
yeah, yeah.
right?
I mean, I
It's more
prefer men tits.
it's more titillating for them to see
It is, yes,
that,
indeed.
quite literally. Um, yeah,
Do
so
you
yeah,
do you remember in the like in the talks of the very first season how there was that term they created? What was it, like sex position? Do you remember this? So basically, in Littlefinger's bathhouse, he would like explain the plot to somebody having sex as like two women were like snogging each other.
that happened
And it was,
once. That
no,
happened.
it happened at
That
least 3 times in 3 episodes,
that
in
only
different
happened once, but it
capacities.
was it was the episode I watched with my dad and his girlfriend as we sat down. It's like, let's put a Game of Thrones on, and it's the one where the two women are being taught how to fuck each other. And I'm sat there with my dad. I was like, "Do not look at me. Let's just put down
I'm
the
sure
remote, go
he
to
listened to that
various
plot.
corners of the house, and let us not speak for 24 hours."
And
It was
did
horrible.
you ask him how he liked the how he
No,
understood
I
the
did
plot?
not reference that again. Thank you. So sex
What do you
position,
say though?
sorry.
You'd be like, "Look, dad, tits."
Oh, no, I would have rather none of that happen when I'm watching it with my dad. Thanks.
Okay, fair enough.
Um, sex position.
Yeah, but then as time went on, I think they like the creators of the show kind of knew that was the thing, and they had like a did they have like a sort of a male on male sex position like brief 30-second scene later on. I'm not sure.
Oh, now that I'm trying to think of where they're like talking about the events of Game of Thrones whilst like finger banging their buttholes or something like that,
Yeah,
or
or maybe it was like Oberon talking about, "Oh, I like the boys too," and meanwhile his
is that
wife,
your Oberon impression?
yeah, Oberon. I don't know.
Like the boys do.
I don't know. Just put on an accent. I don't care. Um, yeah. Meanwhile, like his wife, not wife, Ilaria Sand is like on the other side of the room, like snogging a woman. And like, oh yes, and this part of the plot as well. Da, da, da.
Yeah, because they were kind of talking about it before. Yeah, 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 yeah. Renly was probably doing it with Loris
Loris.
when they were
Yeah.
shaving him. They were
Oh
definitely talking
yes.
about stuff which wasn't sex, but was also still nudity and
It was.
a
Oh,
thing
but
we
he was shaving
remembered.
his chest. It was
He was
so.
shaving. He was shaving everything. But
Do you
yes,
like me like this? And the thing is, like, that was also the way they did it. I don't know if it was the same in the sex position scenes, but the way that Loris and Renly did it, he was talking about characters, not necessarily the plot. He's like, "Oh, but Robert does this," and they always look down on me, and da 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 da.
but that's important. That's background that you
Yes,
would get from
better.
like narrative, but
I
on
prefer
a
that
show.
to sex position.
That's really I had not noticed that, but now I will. It's cool. That's fine. Give us a quick catch up. Previously on Game of Thrones, whilst you're bumming each other. Fantastic. That'd be
I
great.
mean, how do you do that in a show where there is significant recent history that you have to sort of
It's
get
going to be a
people to know?
lot of bumming, a long sex
Yeah,
scene. Aegon
can that be?
Targaryen landed 300 years ago. It's going to be a long catch up. Previously,
Aegon the Conqueror came and shagged the children of the forest into submission.
no, he didn't.
How do you
I
know?
don't know. That's the wrong side, wasn't it? Should we go through the gay characters?
Yes, let's talk about the gay characters because I have a theory about all these gay characters. Where do you want to start chronologically or like ranking best to worst?
Well, I think it's all up for. I've got that little listicle up. They were all good characters, even like the random ones. I suppose Game of Thrones had lots of good characters.
I mean, when
Um,
you say list, I've lost my list since last week. So,
it's in the.
but it's got Daenerys on the list anyway. On that.
I know. Well, it's got ones that are queer coded as well. I feel
Okay.
Daenerys should have been way more bisexual, right? Is she bisexual
Uh,
in the books?
yeah. Well, I think so. There's
Or
definitely a scene with like her and the what are they the wives of the other calls.
uh,
Even when
you
she's
mean
like married
Khaleesi's, you dick?
the other Khaleesi's, yeah. I only refer to women by how they relate to their male counterparts. I'm sorry.
Yeah, she absolutely should have been more bisexual. This little list that we've got up here from the Advocate says that she was bisexual.
No, that's a good point because I
There
think
was a
that maybe in
flirtation
early.
with.
Oh no. She definitely gets taught by other servants of hers how to like
She
love
does.
Caldera.
Yep, she absolutely does. So she probably does. Yeah, I feel like they could have done more of that. A nice, strong, level-headed bisexual female. That would have been a
Yeah,
lot cooler.
and not
I don't.
just look, it's two lesbians having sex like us straight men.
Yeah, that's a shame. That would have been a lot more interesting. When yeah, is. Oh come on, Nick. Words. Missandei in the books.
Yeah.
Okay, she's not her lover, is she?
Oh, what is she? Oh my god, it's all blurring. I should have researched this before.
Eh,
No, I wouldn't have time. I don't have.
you can't just casually reread 5 books by next
No,
week.
no, I meant like just scroll through. There's like a Game of Thrones wiki that has a lot of information on it. So yeah, she's definitely in the book. Um, I don't know about. I don't remember her like romantic affiliation with Grey Worm or even Daenerys.
Okay, I was
What
just
she is,
curious.
yeah.
That would have been interesting. Would have added a little more weight to her finale of her going
Mm,
nuts if there
mm.
was a lot more love. I mean, not
Maybe in book 6 and 7 they get it on.
maybe.
Fingers
Um,
crossed.
yeah.
And legs.
Oh, nice.
Who's next on the list?
I mean, that wasn't. She was number 4. But now we go to that. Yara Greyjoy, lesbian.
Yeah,
Perfect.
perfect. Because the thing
Done.
is, like when we meet her, we like her for her character,
Yep.
and then learn later that oh yeah, by the way, she's
Yep.
also where was she sitting? She's sitting on the throne.
It's quite because the second one on this list is Brienne, and they put her as gender non-conforming, which is
Right.
neither here nor there. It's quite a good counterpoint to Brienne's because you could say that both of them are. If you looked at them and you were being judgmental and an asshole, you could say, lesbians, because they are very masculine presenting in the show and they take on very masculine roles, a knight and,
Hmm.
a ruler and the head of, she's head of the army and everything like that. So having both, having Brienne making a conscious choice to write her not as queer and having her be
Yeah.
romantic with Jamie, and then Yara absolutely being queer, it kind of like
Yeah.
balances up. So it's like on one hand, it's not doing the stereotypical thing. It's like, oh, she's doing a masculine job, therefore she's a lesbian.
Yeah.
Whilst at the same time, if they made her do a masculine job and make her a badass character, and then made her straight, you'd be like, where's the lesbians? So the fact that they had both
Sure.
kind of meant that we could
Yeah.
have the best of both worlds, possibly. But
Yeah.
lesbian, perfect, cool,
Yeah.
done.
And the nice thing about her and Brienne is like I would even say that Brienne might even be like asexual because when she does get into those kind of romantic-y type moments, she kind of is weirded out by it, which
Yeah,
which is normal, like which works as her character. And then
yeah,
in the case of Yara, I don't actually know if she's outed in the books, but I do know that there's a whole chapter about her vying for the right to be king of the what are they called? Iron
Iron Islands.
Islands. So like
Yeah,
after what's his face, her and Theon's dad like falls off a bridge or whatever, which happens sort of off screen. There's a whole
I mean, it happened
chapter
on
about
screen.
no, it wasn't.
It
It was like
it
in the
happened
books.
off
It's like
off
mentioned
page then,
off page. You know what I
but
mean?
it happened on screen because we saw
There
him
was
go.
no there was no there's no scene in the book where like and then Balon Greyjoy falls off the bridge. It's just like
Oh,
oh, did you hear Balon fell off a bridge?
that's not
Mysteriously.
bullshit though, isn't it? Oh, I suppose
Well, the thing
so.
is like he's got I think 3 younger brothers maybe who are all like Theon's uncles, whatever, plus Yara, and they're all sort of like they go for like a king's moot and try to be the king of the Iron Islands because
Yep.
obviously he was like one of the kings in the World of Five Kings. And there's a really good scene where she like they all like bring offerings like the big chests of gold or whatever else. Oh, and this is where This is where Euron gets introduced, the big, sexy pirate at the end.
He's not
Completely
sexy.
different story, obviously.
He's not sexy.
No. Well, I mean, I think he's meant to be the one who's like, I'm going to shag the queen.
Yeah.
Well, whatever. So he's introduced at that point. He's been away for a long time. And she brings up and she's like, offers like a chest full of seashells, like no gold at all. She's like, this is what is going to happen if you sort of go with this guy. You're going to get nothing from it. You're going to, it's empty promises. And unfortunately, she loses to Balon, or not Balon. She loses to Euron, and then he goes off with the army over to King's Landing.
Yeah.
That's the last we see of him in the book. But that's
what's that got to do with her being a lesbian?
No, but like but that, I mean, you can cut all that if you want to. It's just everything after me saying she's got such a good part of the book as well, where she's trying to be a leader.
Yeah,
and so she's a very strong character, regardless of her sexuality.
I didn't like her at first because she was obviously introduced. The way she was introduced was kind of to be off-putting, where her creepy brother grabbed her boob. It was just weird.
And she was kind of okay with it.
She just went along with it. But no, she was really cool. Didn't have enough time to whatever. So yes, lesbian. One.
Okay, good.
Brienne, let's mention her.
Mm-hmm.
Because I like the idea that you said, the kind of asexuality of her character. I hadn't thought of that.
Yeah.
Because I like the way that, she wasn't a lesbian in this particular instance, the way that they kind of had her be a little bit more complicated than that. It's like, no, just because she wears armor, she's lesbian. It was nice to have that kind of point, but she's too sweet and soft-hearted to be a lesbian. That's awful. That's not what I mean. That's not what I mean at all.
I think I know what you mean.
But yeah, I like the idea of what you said, that she's not necessarily one or the other. Maybe she's a little bit asexual or something different.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But they didn't really get a chance to explore that properly.
No. There is a little bit. So in the book, when she leaves King's Landing to look for Arya and Sansa, she's just following clues, right? Because she knew that Arya left and went to sort of towards Harrenhal. She kind of sets out in that direction, and then eventually Arya ends up with the Hound. And by the way, like, Arya's first instinct is let's go to the twins. Let's go to where my mom and my brothers are having their wedding. And they get up to outside the big festival. The Hound is like, something's not right here. We're not going in. And kind of saves her that way, because I'm sure that if she was there,
they would have taken her out too.
And then Brienne goes on this whole like mission up towards, I want to say, like towards the Fingers, which are like where Littlefinger's from, and sort of like the side of the.
There's a place called the Fingers.
Yeah,
where everyone's just fingering each other.
And like just goes on this random escapade with this side character that never shows up in the books, who I could have probably played. And like, this guy is like from her past, and that's how we explore her past, and like tries to get on with her, and she's like, no, I'm on a mission to find these two girls, because that's my oath to Catelyn Stark. And that's kind of the extent of it. Like, it's not, she doesn't try to sort of go to bed with this guy or anything.
That's cute. No one else does that, do they? No one else in the show puts their duty above any kind of romantic feelings the way that she does.
Yeah.
I like that.
So she's a solid character in general.
Yeah. I love Brienne. She was a great character. I kind of wish she died in the final episode, because that would have been so emotional. Like,
only after she fulfills her promise.
Old Khaleesi's, creepy guy died. Meh. Melisandre died. Meh. Didn't give a shit. If Brienne had died, like protecting Jaime or anything like that, in that final episode, that would have been heart-wrenching.
We would have been like, no!
Where she got so close to the end, and then, that would have been devastating. And have some actual emotion, apart from the bullshit. Anyway.
Oh, yeah, because even like, okay, so, you just reminded me of a scene that I hated in the final episode, where Theon sacrifices himself to save it, and save
Does Theon
somebody. Yeah, Theon goes like, I'm gonna, protect you with my last breath, and immediately we're like, he's gonna die, and like it's just done so
Oh,
poorly, and he just sort of goes out swinging and just dies, and we all have obviously you forgot about it.
I
We've all forget about it.
completely forgot. Completely forgot. It was the most
Yeah,
meaningless
I'm sorry,
action.
Theon, but like his Theon's role in okay, I'm not gonna go. I'm not gonna do this with every character, but Theon's role in the book is weird. I'll just say that.
Okay, well,
Like
we'll
he
leave it at
does
that. We'll leave it at
believe
that
it.
because he's straight. So we'll leave him for another time. Thank you. He's had his time,
He's had his time and his penis.
but he's hot. Thanks for the dick pics. Um, moving on.
No
Another
longer.
one on the list. This is not my list. Arya Stark.
So obviously she's a kid. As she like matures into adulthood, which I guess in the course of like I just realized what's the time frame of this series?
Oh, I
What are you
don't
doing?
know.
Oh,
Yawning.
your
Um.
thing froze like in a really weird
Oh,
position. I don't. I mean, Arya. I love that Arya is like she's the definition of a strong female character, where she even has to like disguise herself as a boy for like a good amount of time, um, to sort of survive. And I do love that, but it's kind of like it is just a
and
disguise.
like they put gender non-conforming slash trans because she actually has the ability to physically shift between man and woman because of the whole
No face
faceless
thing, faceless
thing
men.
training. Um, maybe
Yeah.
there's a. I mean, it's not saying oh she definitely is, but it's a way you can look at it in a way that maybe could be interesting or comforting or resonate with other characters who aren't gender
I
conforming, that sort of
suppose,
stuff. Or it could
but
have
I'm
gone
not
a little bit more. Like they could have easily taken her character further that way, and I don't think it would have felt weird. I think that's the point.
okay. Yeah, she doesn't really use her face changing a lot. I'm not sure. I'm not sure how I feel about sort of comparing trans people to people who can just sort of
I agree.
match a
I
different
agree.
face.
It's
But
it's it's dangerous, and they do that in like X-Men quite a lot with shapeshifters and trans people. It's like, oh, no, I don't think that's the
oh,
same.
you mean in
But
like in the
in the
comics?
fact, yeah, sorry, but in the fact that it's more that she's gender non-conforming. It's like it doesn't. She doesn't maintain one or the other. She's
Yeah.
just possibly non-binary or
Well,
not
that is true.
interested in it because
I did it.
she's kind of moving between them, and it's all, and like you said, it's all just a costume because it's all just made up, isn't it?
Yeah.
Maybe
Yeah.
you have long hair and a dress. Oh, okay. Yeah. So again, it's not saying oh she definitely is, but it could be there's elements of that, which is why this is queer and Harry Potter wasn't.
Fair
Um,
enough. Okay. I'll accept that.
yeah, it's just yeah, we're not saying definitives. However, one definitive bisexual is Mr. Oberyn Martell.
Oh, Barin Martell.
Oh, Oberyn? Oberon? Oberon?
Oberyn.
Oberyn.
Oberyn. Yeah, Oberyn Martell.
Oh,
I mean, he's great. Yeah. And you reminded me last week that his whole thing about is like getting back to like fighting for justice like really turns me on. You know what I mean? Like he can do whatever he wants to me.
the body, the confidence, the outfits, the swagger, just
Yeah.
all of it.
Out.
And I mean, I don't think Pedro Pascal is queer in any kind of way, so that's a bit of a shame. What a waste. Um, but I don't know if I like the fact that he's just oozing with so much sexuality, it can't be contained. And I think that's
Mm,
a very romanticized, very TV version of
yeah.
bisexuality. But
Well, it's also
in
very
this instant, I am here for it.
yeah, yeah. It's a very TV stereotype of Latin characters as well.
Oh no! Of course it is. Of course it
So he's
is. He's so suave and charming, and
yeah,
wears great
yeah,
outfits, and
yeah.
he's just so sexy that he'll fuck anyone. Oh no! Don't take this away from me.
No, it's. I mean, like the thing is, like we buy into it because it makes sense in our brain. That's how stereotypes work. And like, but he does it so well that we don't care. But like, I'm sure there are other people in Dorne who aren't bisexual. You know?
I don't know if maybe I would have been as excited about it now as I was back then. It's not even that long ago, but the scene where he talks about how that's sexy and that's sexy, or whatever his line is,
Hmm.
was just the hottest thing I've ever seen to have on like actual television. To
Yeah.
have gay, but also sexy gay, and gay sex, sexy gay. It was just
Yeah.
all the things. So,
What was that sound?
oh,
What were you slapping?
I
I want to
can't,
know.
I can't even. Oberon and
That's. I know you know what you were
Dorne.
doing, but that sound was going to be really funny when you listen to it later.
Got smack in my face.
Yeah, is another thing. It was done well. It was just he was just done well, and we love the fact that he was bi because I don't think bis get a lot of love
No, I
when we
agree,
talk about.
and yeah, and it was very, very much an important part of his character, but it wasn't the entirety of his
Yes,
character,
yes,
which
exactly.
which is fantastic. But it was also very much a part of his character and a very prominent part of his character, and he wasn't
Yeah,
subtle about it or ashamed of it at all, which is
yeah,
wonderful.
yeah. Take note, straights. This is what we want. This is what we mean when we want equality. We want it to be
Yeah, yeah,
definitely there, but not a defining characteristic.
it's not
Can
the
we have
only
like
thing.
that's exactly what they do with straights. Like you don't mention the straight people are straight. Yeah, they have a fling once in a while with a straight person, but it's not like "Oh, I'm going to walk around and shag everything of the opposite sex that I can see because that's not what
I
gays do
mean,
either.
I will
Some of them
disagree
do.
with you. I disagree with you on all of that, because all TV shows and all films are just all about people wanting to be in relationships and shag. So that is
Well,
literally all we see, is them wandering around trying to find someone to shag.
even murder
Um,
mysteries.
Shagging a dead body? I don't know. Anyway,
Not that show. Even
it's the
cartoons.
it's the
I suppose there's a.
majority of what they
It's
do.
a yeah, it's a driving factor. But I want a
Romantic
gay
stuff.
character to have that as a driving factor, but not be the only thing that he or she
You
is
just don't
going
want them to
for.
be just a simple one-dimensional stereotype.
Right. Yes. I'm gay. Where's my next shag? Okay, I'm
Played by
done.
Ja-
I'm leaving.
played by James Corden.
Oh my god. Can you just go away,
I hate
please?
him so much beyond, like, anyway,
Oh my
we're not
god.
talking about
Anyway.
him. He will
No,
not
we're not.
sully this.
He was not in the Game of Thrones
He fucking wishes.
show.
I would have loved to have seen him killed on Game of Thrones. That would have been great.
Yeah.
Really fucking horrible, like stabbed through the throat kind of thing. That would have been
I'm sure
awesome.
there's fanfic about that.
Yeah. All right.
Who's next on the
Oberon.
list?
The only kind of
Oh,
person who could come close is
Oberon Tick. Anyway,
Renly Baratheon. Is the
he's so
next one.
gorgeous.
He's
He's so
so
pretty.
gorgeous. And not to hop on, I'm sorry, I know everyone gets sick of this, but yet another straight person playing a queer role. They all are.
Oh, yeah. Well, they all are. They all are.
Which just shows that, yeah. Anyway, so that's my, that disappoints me. That would have added a lot more emotional heart and weight to the character if they gave an
Hmm.
opportunity to an underrepresented LGBTQ actor to play this.
Hmm.
Having said that, it was equally as important as Oberon. Why can't I get that right? Anyway,
You're thinking of
um,
Oberon is a Shakespeare character.
well, I'm pretty sure that's not what I'm thinking of. Pretty sure that's not what
Oberon
I'm pretty
is the
sure.
king of the fairies in Midsummer Night's
No,
Dream. Probably where we got the word name from.
I'm gonna tell you that's not what I'm thinking about. Anyway, but yes, in a similar but very different way, Renly being that gay character is season one, straight
Yep.
away in with it. Super gay, gay, but gay in also a lovely way.
Yeah, and
Because he's
also,
like,
no, go ahead.
you can carry on.
I was just going to cut in and say like he was gay, but again, it wasn't the driving force of his character.
Yeah, exactly. A very big part of his character, because it came with its own
Yeah.
complications and his own struggles and story and that sort of stuff. His own different romantic
Yes.
relationships. So he had to be with one person, but he wanted to be with another. Brilliant. But it also,
Hmm. Hmm.
that was that bit of it. But then when he was, he was also strategic. He was the one that he was the Baratheon that everybody loved, and then he made
Yeah.
these kind of deals, that sort of stuff, and was gone just like that.
Yeah.
He kind of was very much the could have been anything kind of character.
Yeah.
And then also his other plot was that he was queer. Hugely important. I felt that was really important for me to see that, in this very high budget thing. And it's like, oh, here's the gay character. Da, da, da. Oh, I thought it was Fab. Do you like or dislike the fact that he was gone pretty quick?
I'm glad you asked that because I was going to ask you a very similar question, which was, shall we take a side note about how gay characters tend to be offed very quickly?
What's the thing called?
I don't
Bury
know.
the gays, bury your gays
Very,
trope.
I didn't realize this, but until recently, I think maybe it might have been you or something I read, but basically how
It was definitely me. No, it
probably
wasn't.
fine. You can have it. I don't know. I don't know. You could have said we talked about it for a long time when we were drinking, and I would have been like, oh, all right then. Basically, yeah. So the gays just sort of are there, and as far as I know, this is always the result of straight screenwriters, straight writers who basically write a gay character, don't know what to do with them, so they end up just supporting the main character and then are discarded in some way or another. Either they get killed, or they're just written off, or they just never show up again. It's a shame, really, because obviously that doesn't. I mean, how do I say
It's
this? Like, it doesn't happen to every straight character, obviously.
it certainly does not. It is very similar to fridging. Have you heard of fridging?
You remind me.
So fridging is a term. I don't know if they use it for films and TV shows as well, but it was in comic books how female characters are written to be supportive of a male character, and in order to motivate the male character to change or grow, that move their
Mm,
storyline, they killed off. It's from a
mm,
Green Lantern comic where the Green Lantern's girlfriend was killed, I think by the Joker, killed and shoved in a fridge, and you see him on panel opening the fridge to find her corpse.
oh
Fucking
God.
dark. And that's where it came from. It's like
Ugh,
her character only existed to die to move the
yeah.
character on again. So that's kind of what the
Yeah.
fridging is. But yet again, it's a plot point, a similarity that queer men in particular, not so much queer women, I'm sure they do as well, have with straight women in this
Yeah.
kind of vibe. But
Well, I think I've not heard of that term, but I think I'm familiar because I think the root of that problem that happens to all these female characters is because in a lot of the history of storytelling, especially in comics, for example, like a lot of the superheroes are just men. And a
yeah,
good driving factor for these
of
people can
course.
be like a lost love. And of course, a lot of the superheroes were also straight. So it ends up just being
Hmm.
the female. I'm not defending, I'm not saying it's a good thing, but that's where it comes
Yeah,
from. It
yeah,
comes from the inability. Like which
of course.
female character was motivated into action by the by the death of their lover? Was Storm motivated? What about Captain Marvel? Like what other Wonder Woman? Was she motivated by the death of her lover? I don't know.
By the
Maybe it's a little
death
bit of both. I'm talking myself out of my own
of a
argument.
lover. Maybe Captain Marvel, Ms. Marvel's boyfriend. Anyway, but no, it's yes, it's a bad trope, but it's a bad trope because it's indicative of the fact that for so long in comics anyway. Sorry, sidetracking. Yeah, it's just indicative of a lot of the time that they just didn't bother writing female characters. It just
Or gay
shows when you
characters.
see this trend, it's like, oh, like, or exactly, or even the fact. I think this is more showing that they don't know what to do with gay characters. It's like
Yeah.
if it is straight men, which it usually is, writing these characters, they're like, I don't know what to do with them. Do they have AIDS or something? Like it's just like they
Oh
don't
God.
know. They don't know how. Is that what gays do? It's like, oh yes, they don't know how to write women characters, and they don't know how to write
Yeah.
gay characters
Yeah.
because they overthink it, and so they don't know what to do with them. They make it dramatic. They either make them a
Yeah.
drug addict or have AIDS, and then they kill them off.
Oh
It's like I
God.
can't do it. Get rid of them.
This is why we need
Um,
more female writers. Why we need more gay writers. Why we need
of
more
course,
trans writers.
we need
Um.
representation all over the place.
Yeah.
Of this list,
Who survives?
the girls like Yara survives.
She survives. Yeah.
Brienne and Arya survive,
Brienne.
but they're not really
Not really.
queer.
Yeah.
We're just identifying Oberon dead, Renly
Dead.
dead,
Dead.
Hodor dead, Alaria Sand dead, Loras
Dead.
Tyrell dead, Lord
Dead.
Varys dead,
I don't
Oliver.
think he. I don't think he was necessarily a gay. He just was very effeminate because he lost his balls.
No, he was absolutely gay,
Oh,
but
yeah, maybe you're
asexual
right.
now because he was castrated. But he was
Sure.
absolutely gay.
Oh, he does get executed as well. Yeah.
Oliver is
Oliver
the
is
sexy one
yeah.
that
I
fucks
have
everyone.
mixed feelings because he. I feel like I can't tell because by the time his character was introduced, we'd surpassed the end of the book. So I have no idea who he
Yeah.
is.
It's
He's not in the
unclear if
books. I don't know if he
Oliver
will
is
be.
dead, alive, or somewhere in between.
Somewhere
So maybe he
between
survives.
resurrected as a corpse. But yeah, he was kind of
Maybe.
like I want to like him more, but I feel like he was shoehorned in because of feedback from there's so many female orgies happening in the brothel that we need some gay. I don't know if he was effective.
And I appreciated that.
Yeah, of course. I mean, yeah, I guess
He was just a
it's the
hot
same
piece of
thing.
ass. He was a hot piece of ass for Oberon
Mhm.
to slap. And you know what? Fine. That worked.
Fine.
That's all his
Didn't
character
in
was.
effect. Yeah.
Yeah, so all of them are dead. Like all the gay men are dead. Again, I think maybe that's because gay women are less offensive than gay men, or
Mm.
they still don't want to kill women off in the same way, and they don't care about killing gay men
Or
off. I don't know.
or is it subtext that if you are gay, don't tell anybody, or otherwise you'll die?
Otherwise, you will die.
In the Game of Thrones, you win or you're gay.
But
I
if you're
think that's
gay,
how it
you
works.
win.
If you're
Ooh,
gay, then you win.
yay! I don't know.
Let's
Yeah,
continue on the list.
I mean, we don't really need to because that's kind of like summarizing all of them is the fact that they'll die. That was
Okay,
the
let's just
kind
go
of
through the
point that
rest.
we
Yeah,
were
they all
building
die.
to.
Let's go. Let's do hot takes on all of them then. So who else did you say? You
Hodor.
said Hodor. Was he gay? I'm sorry, I don't know. I don't.
Well,
I don't know.
he's probably asexual, but he was actually the only one played by a gay actor.
Like gay
So
actor, which doesn't mean he was
yeah,
playing a gay character, but
no, but it was an opportunity to give a LGBTQ actor an
yeah.
LGBTQ role to have some actual visibility. But
Let's
they made him
let's
asexual, naked, and he died.
let's
So
give
oh,
the gay only gay actor the character that has a mental deficiency. Perfect, good idea.
can't say any lines and dies right towards the end. Awesome, thanks for that.
Who else did you say? Loris
I,
Terrell.
I mean, yeah, he's not next on the list, but yeah.
Oh, fine. Sorry.
Yeah, I thought. I mean, I remember thinking he was a hot mess, which
What do you think of his like religious conversion though? Is that a metaphor
But
for
that was.
something or?
I remember at the time not enjoying the storyline because it was just a little bit too close to real life. The fact that he had to pretend to be straight to get away from being persecuted by religious people. Like, obviously, that's the point. I do understand that. It's
Yeah.
not lost on me. But it was just a little bit like, well, I don't want to see this storyline again. I don't want to see another gay man in the closet because of society, that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
When we had Renly and Oberon right at the start doing their big gay thing, and then he had
Renly
to
and
go back
Loris.
and
Oh, you mean each separately?
each separately, yes,
Yeah.
yeah, doing their big gay thing, and then because of the storyline, he had to be shoved back in the closet and repent because it's a sin to be gay and that sort of stuff. And yeah, fine, very good, clever,
Okay.
frustrating. Oh my god, fucking kill the High Sparrow. That's the whole point of the show. But it's a little bit triggering because it's just a little bit too much.
Yeah,
but
I mean, because this still is a problem with a lot of people,
because it's still
parts of the world.
Yeah, shadow demons coming out your vagina, less of a problem nowadays.
Yeah.
Conversion therapy, still a thing.
Still a problem.
So,
this is the problem. Yeah. Okay, so that's Loris.
Yeah, I mean, and he was good looking and good for his character because the whole point of the Tyrells they were pretty and nice and sweet, but didn't really do anything. They didn't achieve anything, and then they got killed. It's like, oh, pretty ineffective.
Except for Great Grandma. Good
Love
old.
her
Yeah,
so hard.
She achieved something.
She's why gays love that show because of Elena Tyrell.
Yeah,
Elena. She is the reason because she is the baddest fucking bitch. I love her. She was amazing.
And she was like so subdued about it. Like she was so like she was so conniving. She was like on par with Varys when she was introduced. Like she's so conniving and she does it very well. And
very, very, very sad she didn't win. Very sad she didn't win.
But she did win in her own way.
No, well, dead.
Tell Cersei it was me. I know. But in the Game of Thrones...
I mean, Cersei died as well. And Jaime died. So, all of them are dead. Fucking everyone's dead. Anyway.
At least that's a death that we remember because it meant something. We meant okay, she didn't win, but it was like a meaningful death. Like she got what she wanted to a point. Like we don't remember Theon. We don't remember like Jaime and Cersei because it's such a letdown.
No, it was also one of the few good moments from. Was it in the final series that she died?
Which one? No,
Helena was the one
it
before.
was like 6 or 7. Like it wasn't the last series.
It was the penultimate one. Yeah, was the one where nothing happened.
The actress was kind of on her way out.
100.
Is she still
Was
alive?
what?
I don't know.
No, she died.
She did pass away. Okay.
She's awesome. And that's why he's gay, because he has this fantabulous fag hag of a grandma.
So true.
Who else did you say? Varys we've talked about.
Yeah, we talked about him.
And Oliver we've already talked about. Ilaria Sands?
Ilaria.
Yeah, well, that's kind of thing. She's so beautiful.
Also didn't get much to do, to be fair.
She was just, she was kind of stuck following everyone around, wasn't she? Stuck following Oberyn around, stuck following other people around. Although she lasted a hell of a lot longer than Oberyn did.
I remember reading somewhere that she was made to like she rocks up at the end or something, like with who does she back? Like
she's with Khaleesi.
She's with Khaleesi? How come I don't remember her being with Khaleesi?
Because no one remembers anything that happened in season 7. Because nothing happened, and then you're like, oh, what? Okay. Yeah, she was in that room with her, Elena, Yara, Khaleesi.
Olenna and Yara.
Yeah, all around at Storm's, not Storm's End. Dragon's End?
Dragonstone. Storm Coast?
Stormborn, Khaleesi Stormborn. Yeah, all around that big thing. Talking shit. I don't know. Be a dragon.
I'll have to be reminded of it because it was
all wank. We've come off topic now, and I'm bored.
Yeah,
it's not nearly gay enough. So we've covered those things.
Ilaria wasn't gay enough. Who's your favorite? Who's your favorite gay of the show?
Oberyn. Oberyn. Renly was cute. But he disappeared too quickly. You didn't really get much of a chance to see him. Loras was cute, but I also can't get past the whole Iron Fist thing now, so I can't really fancy him anymore.
I know. I still haven't watched the rest of that.
Whereas Oberyn was just...
What I liked about Oberyn as well, he was so brilliant.
Brilliant from the start to finish. He went out with a bang, didn't he? So a bang and a splash.
A bang and another few other bangs, and then a squish. But like what I liked about him, his character was written so well. It was like he was clear what he was doing. You knew what he wanted. You knew how he was going to do it. He was a badass, and like even like everybody loved him, regardless of his sexuality. Like great, like we, a lot of my straight coworkers were like, he's a badass. He's really cool. And like before he died, obviously, and then I was so upset that he died. Again, a death that you remember because you cared about the character so much.
Massively. I mean, it was a very big deal. A very big death. So was Game of Thrones good representation?
This is a good question.
I know, I wrote it. So what's the answer? Anyone know?
Overall?
Yeah, well...
Overall, I think yes. I think overall we have good representation, like because... and I think he does this in the books as well, although I think it is more... It's even more not at the forefront, because it's not... You can't hide the fact that they're... I mean, the whole thing about Loras and Renly, I don't even think is like mentioned until book 3. But it's mentioned in like, oh yeah, because they're spending a lot of time together, and it's like heavily referenced.
Renly makes it to book 3?
No.
Referenced in book 3. Sorry.
Anyway, might have been book 2. I don't remember, but it's like he does this a lot, where in writing it, you write something, but you don't find out details until long after that story has completed. So you look back on it like, oh, is that why they did that? So yeah, then it's not referenced in the books until much later, whether that's book 2 or 3, I don't remember exactly, but it's heavily referenced, so you can't miss it. And yet it's not the main point of their relationship. And so in the show, because we've read all the books that were released at that point, we can put in their relationship in the beginning. So I think that was a good idea, because it's not they're not hiding from the viewer anyway, and it's almost as if like accepted in a way. Like no one cares about it as much. Even the sister Marjorie doesn't like knows about it and doesn't care. Like she wants to use it to her advantage.
Uh-huh.
That's like the main from the beginning. And like in terms of other characters, like yeah, I mean, there's nothing that I can remember right now seemed out of except for a bit Oliver towards the end, where it's like, why do you exist again? I'm not sure. But up until then, it was like I bought it. I bought into it. So I did. I thought it was a good representation.
What was the question that was answering?
Is
What?
Game of Thrones a good good representation?
So your answer was
yes, because I can't think of anything that really stood out against
the
it.
things that the bad stuff is the things that we've talked about. For me, it's the bury the gays trope. The fact that they were the majority, all of them were killed off, and that they weren't played by anyone in the community because they were not famous actors. A lot of the excuse that people use is like, oh, well, because, you know, what's his name? Jared Leto pulls in lots of people to see. It's like none of these people were famous, so you could have given an opportunity for anyone at that point.
Yeah,
you didn't have to choose another straight white guy. You could have chosen.
I'll also say, I'll interject and I'll say that a lot of people who aren't famous yet are afraid to come out of the closet because they think it'll hurt their chances of getting cast.
100%, but it is a catch-22 because people aren't given that opportunity and people don't do it, and then there's no representation. We don't see the success that people can have in their careers when they're out, and so therefore people don't do it, and it's ongoing. So I feel that it's not a bad representation, but it was a missed opportunity to be really good representation. Because none of them are queer in real life.
So is that what you mean by representation? I thought you meant like in like the characters. Do you mean like the opportunity to cast actors?
Well, all of it's representation. Representation is seeing ourselves on the screen. Are we represented on the screen, and are we represented well on the screen? It's the same thing. We are seen on the screen. The characters are good. They are complex. They are different. All the queer people are completely different. And I love that. And they're complex and they're weird and they have their issues, some of which are related to that, some of which are not. I think that's really good. The biggest fall down is that none of them survive. So how important are they? They're not.
Yeah.
That's a shame. That kind of unconsciously reinforces that. It's like you're not main characters.
Yeah, you're there to support the main characters.
Yeah, exactly. And they weren't played by, and not one queer person played a queer person. But
so is that a yes or a no? I need to know. Give me
It's a yes and a no. It's not bad representation, but it could have been great representation.
Yeah.
But they didn't know it was going to be the biggest show in the world, but they probably had an inkling because the money behind it was a lot.
Well, it was a big step towards that sort of dream goal.
Yeah.
On our gay agenda, we're gonna be equal representation in media.
Slowly but surely. I don't know. I can't remember because Fire and Blood isn't the same kind of story. It's like a history book rather than characters. I don't remember queer characters from reading it. Whereas, because you didn't hear their inner thoughts as much, you just were like, he married his sister wife, blah, 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 blah. So there might have been, but like, glazed over. So I wonder if they'll have equal, better, more representation in the new show.
But they did definitely, like, all those sex position scenes were, I guess they were queer because it was, two women.
They were.
Usually.
But that was for straight men, though.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but I mean, like...
That doesn't
those
count. Lesbian porn is not good representation for.
No, it isn't.
So we'll not take that one.
But I mean, my point is, I don't think we should. But my point is that it was put into the show, so they can easily put something into the show of like some sort of representation.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see if they make it better. Whoever's show running it.
Here's a question for you: was Loras and Renly a depiction of a healthy gay relationship?
Is there such thing as a healthy gay relationship? No, sorry. That's me being bitter. I'm sorry.
This is not a therapy session for Nick Baker.
Oh, sorry, that's tomorrow.
Although it can be. It's tomorrow.
No, because they were in the closet. No, they couldn't be
Okay.
themselves. They weren't free to be themselves, and they were playing the game. Fair enough, because you had to play the game or you die. And they both did anyway. So
Mm-hmm.
no, they couldn't be open and honest. Oberon's a better example of that because he wasn't killed because he was gay. I mean, they weren't either, but maybe a little bit.
Here's another question for you.
Mm-hmm.
Should there have been more queer characters that we missed an opportunity to represent?
I don't think there needed to be more. I think it was a good number going through that list.
Well, I mean, there's like thousands of characters, and there's so many that
True,
were
but
in the
they're all
books as well.
background characters. I don't give a shit about the
Yeah,
background
yeah.
characters. These were
These
leading
were
characters,
the
but
ones whose actors' names were on the main credits, like in the opening title screen. You know what I
they
mean?
got a little animation. Yeah, I think it's a good number. If 5 to 10% of the world is queer, 5 to 10% of the cast of the characters were queer. I don't know. Yeah, I think it's a decent number. I just wish we had those few things fixed. That somebody won,
Somebody won.
and somebody was played by and gave an opportunity to have an actor.
But didn't he come out like after he was cast? So when it was like, you're talking about the gay actor.
What, Hodor?
Yeah, like he came out after he
Oh.
was cast, so he wasn't in that sort of situation where where coming out would have affected his castability. Oh, it makes my skin crawl a little bit whenever I think of like actors who's like, oh no, I'd rather pretend to be straight until I get that big role, then I'll come out, and I'm just like,
Gross.
why?
Nowadays.
Like I get it. There's a volatile market for being cast, but it's going to be that way anyway. I don't know. I think anyway, if you're not visible for
Phoebe Waller-Bridge and Shonda Rhimes are doing everything they can to break that stereotype, to show that gay actors can play the sexiest,
yeah,
bankable, sexiest roles. So shut the fuck up.
well,
Hopefully that change. Yay, women allies.
Good. Before I knew how you were going to end that sentence, I was going to chime in and say like, and Russell T Davies.
Who?
Do you know how Russell T Davies, who did? Well, he did the reinvigoration of Doctor Who, and then he did It's a Sin, Banana Cucumber. Did you watch It's a Sin?
Too depressing, too triggering.
You know what? Let's watch it.
No, I don't want to. I'm sure it's amazing. Great. It's too triggering. I can't watch another show or another film where the whole premise of being is a gay character who is
Dies of
hated
AIDS.
because they're gay or because they die of AIDS. It's done too many times. I'm sure it's brilliant. I can't watch that again. I can't sit through that shit again. No, thank you.
Let's not get into it. I don't think it's. I know.
Game of Thrones. We were gonna do an updated Smashel Pass.
Yeah, I think we should.
And I don't know how to do it.
Because it was me. Where's my thing?
Was this your job?
No, this is my job. Back to me. So this is the risk of having a 2-part episode. Is that
back to me?
Back to me.
Yeah.
I do say that a lot, don't I? We did a top 40.
Yep.
And it wasn't enough.
Nope.
So I'm going to say, I'm going to do another search. I didn't even know what I did last time. I'm going to find the top...
it was 100.
100, yeah.
But you can select them, because if you know for damn sure we did it last time, then don't bother.
Yeah. Okay. I did tap on it before, so this must be the one. Nicholas, are you... Oh, hang on, wrong one. False alarm, false start. Are you ready for part 2?
Wait.
Collaborate and listen. No, let's stop. What are you doing?
Are you just going to do, like, the queer ones?
No. We've already done all.
But the whole point of this episode is Gay of Thrones.
I know, but if we do like a gay smash or pass, it's going to be over really quickly. Well, I don't mind.
But like, when Dario's in it, okay. Okay.
Oh yeah, we didn't see him as well.
No.
There's some other one. Yeah, okay.
I want to smash him. Okay.
I want to make it known that I want to smash
I want
all
to.
of them.
Well, Michael.
Let me wrap around. Let me wrap around. This is going to be interesting because I have no idea. I've not looked at this before, so this is going to be really weird. Nick, are you ready for this second half of Game of Thrones Smash or Pass?
Yes.
Okay. So this is a continuation of last week, and I have no idea. I definitely have not looked at this before, but we're going to go from the bottom. It's a ranking, as everything has to be a competition.
But you're not going to do all of them because we did them last
No.
week. Skip over the ones that we did.
Yeah, but obviously the number 100 is not going to be a one we did last week. So we're going to start with a bit more obscure characters.
Okay.
I'll skip a few.
I don't think it's going to be as wet as last week, but okay.
May not be wet. So do you remember Smash or Pass Will?
No.
From the very first episode.
No idea.
The one who ran away from the the White Walker in the very beginning.
No idea.
Smash or Pass?
Smash!
Yeah, Smash. I'll pass. He has long hair in the photo. I can show you the photo. He got his head cut off in the first episode.
I remember someone getting their head cut off. Oh, yeah,
him.
Sure.
Fine. Next one is Sirio Forel. The man that...
Pass.
What? Okay. Pass. These are not sexy. Smash or Pass, Prince Dorne Martell. The one in the wheelchair who welcomes
the older brother. Nah, pass.
Nah, pass. How about Leaf? Smash or Pass? Leaf.
Pass.
She's like an alien. You might like her.
No, she's not an alien. She's a leaf woman.
Smash or Pass? Marie Masdur.
Pass.
I'll pass as well. I'm passing on all these as well, by the way. Smash or Pass? Euron Greyjoy.
No, pass. He does look a little bit like Joshua Jackson.
In this photo, does. When he gets all, when he gets all like leather and badass, I'm like, ugh, you're not even doing leather right. So sad. So sad. Smash or Pass? Robin Arryn.
Oh, gross. Pass. These are all gross characters. Last week
they are gross.
This is gross.
They are gross. Smash or Pass? Lysa Arryn.
Pass.
Pass as well. Here we go. Here's a Smash or Pass. Interesting. A character they invented for the TV show. Roz. The redhead from the brothel who...
Pass.
You like redheads?
Yeah, I'm not into it.
Fine. I'm skipping a few. Ugh. 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 A lot of these are really, really sort of random, but we are doing ones that we have seen before. Smash or Pass? Balon Greyjoy.
Pass.
Pass on him as well. Smash or Pass? Mance Raider. The king above the wall.
Pass.
No? You don't think he's rugged enough?
No, thanks.
I'll smash him. Okay, I'm going to skip a few that you're obviously going to pass on because I want to hear some sexy sex. Here we go. Smash or Pass? Lancel Lannister. So he's the one that goes a bit
the cousin.
Religious crazy. The cousin, yeah.
Pre forehead scars. Yeah, sure. Let's smash. Let's get something going.
Pre forehead scar and pre haircut. Even though I was like, I'd rather have some.
I thought you didn't like long hair.
I didn't, but he does not do the.
He doesn't suit a
well.
skinhead. Sorry, buddy.
So
you don't suit a skinhead very well.
Smash or Pass? Osha, the wildling who. No. Annoying.
All these characters are shit.
Smash or Pass? Talisa, the wife of.
Pass.
You pass on her too?
Yep.
Okay. Here's one I think you.
Not in the mood for this shit.
Hang on. I think your mood will pick up with this one. Are you ready? Smash or Pass? Gendry!
Oh, yeah, smash.
Yeah, there we go.
There were a lot of characters that we didn't get round to.
I'm almost to 50 already. Smash or Pass? Edmure Tully.
Pass.
Played by the guy who went on to play Prince Philip. Oh, here we go. Smash or Pass? Beric Dondarrion.
Pass.
Of the Brotherhood Without Banners. No! He's good looking, I would. Smash or Pass? Missandei. I think we did her.
Smash!
Yeah, I love her.
Wait, we've done her before.
We have actually, yeah. Smash or pass, Jojen Reed.
Pass.
You're no fun. Smash or pass, Thoros of Mir.
Pass.
A red priest.
This is why.
You're just grumpy now.
This is why none of these were in the list last week, because these are all
Smash or
awful.
pass, Shay.
Pass. Awful.
You just hate the people.
Yeah.
Okay, we've done that one. Smash or pass, Dario Naharis.
Ah, fucking finally. 46! How dare you? I think he's my favourite
Oh, he's your favorite Smash.
of all of them. Yeah. 100%.
Smash or pass, Podrick.
Yeah, Smash Podrick. Yeah, absolutely.
Would you? I think he's a bit. Well,
Yeah.
apparently he's so good in the bedroom, but I just think he's a bit sort of dull looking. I'm sorry, you know.
Nah, well, that's fine. That's great.
Okay, we're getting to the better ones now. Hope you haven't tuned out yet, dear listener. Smash or pass, Grey Worm.
Oh, yay! Grey Worm.
Yes, I will too. Even if it's just for the cuddling, because he doesn't, you know.
Yeah,
well,
because he technically doesn't have a penis, so.
Yeah, well, I don't mind that.
Yeah, good for you. I don't know what we'll do. We'll just cuddle, but we'll figure something out.
Did we have Robb Stark as it in the last one? I don't even remember now. How did we not think about Robb Stark?
Did we not talk about?
We not talk about Robb in the Smash or Pass bit?
Oh my god!
Yeah, I don't remember. Was he not in the top 40?
I don't feel I need to say it, but I'm gonna smash.
Yeah, I would. Yeah, smash. He's
God. Yeah, he's the other
very pleasant
top one.
on the eye. Yeah,
Dario or Rob.
Really? Is that high for you? Like, I don't mind. Yeah. Smash or
Who's
pass,
your
Ramsay
top,
Bolton.
Smash. You definitely did him before.
Oh, did I? Oh yeah, I remember talking about. I wouldn't smash that. I would definitely not smash that. Smash or pass, Orlena Tyrell.
Oh, I love her. Smash.
Yeah, smash it.
Yep, smash.
Who else did we not? We did all these, but now we're getting up to the top few. Smash or pass, Bran. More like Bran Flakes.
Pass.
Did we smash or pass Catelyn?
I don't know if we did. Smash.
Yeah, I'll smash her.
Smash. I don't remember if we smashed or passed Cersei.
You know, the whole tragedy of her character is so unspoken. Where like she lives her whole life thinking that her husband cheated on her, and she dies not knowing the truth. Yeah. Okay, we've done all the rest, so we're ending on that one. Unless did we do Cersei before? I think we did.
I don't know if we did. This is how little attention I clearly pay. But smash, absolutely Cersei. Yeah.
So apparently the top things of all these characters is like number one last time was Daenerys, number 2 was Jon Snow, number 3 was Tyrion. But this website goes number 3 Jon Snow, number 2 Daenerys, number 1 Tyrion Lannister.
It's fine as long as Jon doesn't win over Daenerys. That's fine.
No, how could he with those blank dead eyes?
Yeah, but he's sexy. So if mine are Dario / Rob, probably Dario. Dario Naharis is my favorite.
Okay.
Who's yours?
I would say between
top Smashables.
Smashables. I'm gonna say it's a toss up between Jaime Lannister post haircut, because it's not blonde hair, I suppose, and Khal Drogo, obviously.
Yeah, excellent choices.
The beefiest of the beef.
Yeah, wonderful choices. Wonderful.
Thank you. We can end on our favorites.
Yeah.
In the future, if we lose track of Smash or Pass, we'll just do like, would you rather? That's what I'm more into. Like, would you?
Once we run out of Smash or Passes, we'll probably change it to would you rather. That's a good point.
Yeah.
Probably
once we do every single character at all of whatever.
Would you rather? Yeah. Fantastic. Any other gay comments to make about Game of Thrones?
I think we covered it all. But you know what? I want to hear from our listener. If you haven't done so already, please write in. We have an email address. It is incompletegeekspodcast@gmail.com. Let us know what you think. Did we miss anybody? Don't forget to listen to the first part of this two-parter. Let us know what other geeky things you want to hear about, because we want to expand.
And gay things. What did you think about what we interpreted about the gayness representation, characters that could have either offered some representation, more representation, or which ones did you like because they were fierce diva bitch characters or whatever. We'd love to hear gay geek stuff. You can email us.
Or just gay.
Gay, or gay stuff. Gay stuff's fine, or geek stuff, whichever.
Yeah.
Email us.
You can email us. You do this all the time. I want to do it once. If you like this episode, please let us know by giving us a good rating of 5 stars on Apple Podcast or whatever they do on Spotify or whatever you do on whatever method you use to listen to podcasts. We want to keep doing this, and we need to get the word out. So let us know. Write us in. You can follow me on Instagram. Is the best way to follow me at John Marks. That's JONMARX. And you can follow Nick on Twitter at Nick Baker Geek. Yeah, so we're still trying to learn. We're still trying to discover new aspects of our geekery because, as you might have discovered, we are not complete geeks.
But we're trying.
Thanks for listening.
Bye-bye.